Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We are back live again on a Monday evening, which means only one thing, and that is of course Dynamax Max Monday. Now tonight's Max Monday is actually a really cool one to be doing. It's actually quite a useful one. Of course, last week we had the likes of Caterpie, which isn't overly useful. There may be some Caterpie fans out there, but it's not really useful as a Dynamax. And of course, Caterpie's evolutionary form, which is Butterfree, does have a Gigantamax. It's already been released on the game. So it is already outclassed by itself. Evening, Alan, how are you? Thanks for joining. But tonight, we have got a brand new Dynamax in the form of Dynamax Roggenrola. You can see one there. And we are going to do a few early ones tonight before the 6 PM Max Monday event starts. And that's just because we should be able to do around about 10 of these tonight, depending on how we collect our particles. If we collect them efficiently enough, we should be able to do around about 10. And there's only around about 6 Dynamax power spots near me. So doing early ones means we can come back round and revisit these ones. So we'll jump straight in on this first one. And then we should be able to do around about 4 early ones, I think, before getting towards that 6 PM. So, as I mentioned before, Roggenrola is going to be the new #1 rock type in terms of Dynamax. It will be slightly better, around about 9% better in terms of numbers, around about 9% better than the current best, which is Omastar, of course, Omanyte's evolution. So yeah, it is definitely an upgrade on Omastar. And of course, it's just in time. It is perfect for the Dynamax Ho-Oh Max Battle weekend, which is this weekend on Pokemon Go. So it is just in time for that. And we start the evening on 656. Now, first initial thoughts is that the red glow of the Dynamax Roggenrola on the catch screen there doesn't half make it look like a shiny. It's going to be difficult to spot a shiny, I think. Let's have a quick look on the stats. 656 is a 3-star, but it's not an amazing 3-star. It's 10, 14, 13 there on the stats. And as you can see, when we do Dynamax, it does look quite like a shiny one because of that reddish glow. The shiny, of course, goes to a lovely purple colour, and then the inside, the centering of Roggenrola goes to that lovely orange colour. So that's how it changes. Yeah, it definitely looks a bit shiny, doesn't it? Unfortunately, it's not on this occasion. But we can collect another 300 max particles there from a walk-in. So there's actually some decent raids as well, decent level 1 raids at the moment, with Honedge being on level 1s. And Honedge will get a brand new shiny debut release during the Go Tour Kalos this next month. So it is going to be really cool as a shiny. This is one of my favourite Pokemon in the game, to be honest. So we're going to head down to that next Roggenrola down there. And then if any of these level 1s are Honedge, we may do them on the way back up. Looks like there's another Pikachu code there for anybody collecting the Lego codes. Pika 4 Express is the code. You can see that on the screen. Don't know if anybody's doing them or not. I don't know what you really get out of them, to be fair. I have been doing them, but I don't know quite what you get from them. If anybody does know, let me know in the comments. So yeah, a little bit of an earlier stream tonight because of wanting to do these early Dynamax battles before the official event starts at 6 PM. But of course, tomorrow we will be live again, hopefully, for spotlight hour. So that should be quite a decent spotlight hour. So let's see if we can kick this yellow gym. How long have people been on for? 10 hours. Should be enough. So we'll just kick this on the way to that next Roggenrola. I don't know what the Hundo CP is for Roggenrola. If anybody knows, let me know in the comments. And we know what to look out for these Dynamaxes. I think it's always quite decent on these Dynamaxes that there isn't two different numbers. You've got to remember it can't be weather boosted on a Dynamax. So there is just the one number you have to remember for the Hundo CP. Well, I never normally memorise it. I normally have to rely on somebody letting me know in the comments. So if anybody does know, then let me know. And we know which sort of CP range we are looking for a decent one. And like I say, it would be quite nice to get a decent one, because we then have the remainder of the week where we can use our free particles to perhaps power up the max moves of any decent ones that we get. And then we've got ourselves a really, really good counter for the likes of Dynamax Ho-Oh this weekend. And of course, many other Dynamax flying types. We've already had Dynamax Articuno, Zapdos and Moltres on the game. Of course, we've already had Dynamax Lugia as well on the game. And Dynamax Ho-Oh will be this weekend. So a Dynamax Roggenrola in its evolutionary form, Gigalith, will be a very, very good counter for all those Dynamax legendaries. How many Ho-Oh battles will I aim for on the 31st? So it is a weekend event, so you can do them from 6 AM in the morning until 9 PM in the evening. But of course, I won't be doing that many. I'll probably be doing around about 3 or 4 hours on the Saturday. And I don't think I'll be doing any on the Sunday, and that's just because I'm going to a card show on the Sunday, hoping to pick up some nice little Gengar cards for me collection. But yeah, so I won't be doing any on Sunday, but I'm hoping on the Saturday to be able to do around about 10 or 15 Dynamax Ho-Oh. Hopefully that's enough to get the shiny, but we'll have to wait and see. Of course, it is 1 in 20 shiny odds, as with all legendaries, and that's the same for Dynamax legendary battles. So 1 in 20 shiny odds. Hopefully in around about 10 or 15 battles we can pick up a shiny, and hopefully we can pick up a decent one as well. I don't think we ever managed to get the shiny Dynamax Lugia, which was a little bit annoying, but Ho-Oh is a very, very nice shiny. So hopefully we can pick one of those up. Are you doing any this weekend, Alan, or have you got other plans? The second Dynamax Roggenrola, again, definitely looks shiny. 672, that is an improvement. If memory serves me right, I think it was 656, the first one. So 672 is definitely an improvement in the right direction. And it's got 15 attack, so 15, 10, 14 can still be vastly improved. So 672 is a new benchmark. Let's see if we can get a bit higher than that on the next few battles. Yeah, hopefully manage to bag a few. How many are you hoping to do this weekend, if any? I think it's one of those that I think potentially with the right counters you could duo it, but I think 3 or 4 trainers is obviously more recommended. Don't know how long that Dragonite's been in there. I didn't see that before, so let's just double check that before wiping it out completely. Only 28 minutes, so we'll kick the Blossom and then we'll run away at the Dragonite and not kick them. Kick them tomorrow at some point. Don't like kicking people that have been on gyms for less than 8 hours. So we'll run away on that occasion and we'll leave that gym yellow for the remainder of today and into tomorrow. Again, another yellow gym, and it's very packed, this one. But we have all been there for quite some time, so we'll start kicking this gym as we head to some more Dynamax battles. Oh, shiny 96 Melmetal. It's one of those Pokemon that sort of easily gets forgotten about, Melmetal. Obviously Meltan only gets featured in certain events, so it is one of those that does get forgotten from time to time. Pikachu with a little New Year's hat. It's not a bad little costume, that Pikachu. We've had our fair share of Pikachu costumes, haven't we? But that one wasn't too bad. And then we got a Hatina. So we've got 2 more Dynamax battles down here with early ones on. Both Roggenrola. And then of course at 6 PM, like I mentioned before, all the Dynamaxes we've currently done we'll revisit, because we should be able to do around about 10 today. So we should all spawn additional Roggenrolas at 6 PM. Hey Jonathan, how are you? Thanks so much for joining, mate. Hopefully you've had a good weekend. Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. I'm good. It's very cold, but I'm good. It's cold and windy, which is a horrible combination. Just seems to go straight through to your bones when it's like this. Feel it on your fingertips as you're trying to throw Pokeballs at Pokemon. The warm weather just arrived. How warm is this warm weather? So our third Dynamax Roggenrola of the evening. 656 and 672 was the first couple of CPs, hoping to get a bit closer to that hundo number, of which we still don't know what it is yet. Currently 4 degrees, and it was about 7 or 8 earlier. Still not warm enough, is it? It's still not warm enough. Around about 15 degrees, that'll do me. 15 degrees, cloudy. That'll be absolutely perfect. 649, terrible. I'm sure Jonathan will tell us a hundo CP for us, because I haven't done my research yet again, Jonathan. You'll be surprised to know. I didn't have to dress up in a zillion layers of clothes not to freeze. Yeah, you know it's slightly warming up then, if that's the case. Dynamax Roggenrola number 4 on the way. Yeah, exactly. Who could have thought it? I'm way too busy to be doing research like this. I mean, I even have to... The funny thing is that I even have to download an infographic with the counters and stuff to post to my local community Discord. And when I do that, it's got all the information on it, like hundo CPs of a range of the lowest and the highest and stuff like that, as well as all the counters. And I still don't even read it. I just download it and post it. I never study it. Yeah, it's so bad of me. So yeah, I'm going to have to rely on you again for the hundo, unfortunately. 680, that is better. That is in the right direction. This is where Jonathan gets back to me and says the hundo is 680. That would be perfect, Jonathan. Thanks very much for that. Ooh, not bad at all. 93 IV. It's got to be around about 686 then, going off that. I'm going to guess 686 is the hundo. But 680 is a 15, 13, 14. If we don't improve on that during tonight, that is going to be a one that gets evolved and powered up, ready for this weekend. 588. How can it be 588 when it's 680, Jonathan? 688, right, okay. He's corrected himself. Nearly caught him out then, but he's corrected himself. This is terrible, by. What are we doing here? Why am I getting loads of Kabuto candy when everybody knows the best counter is Roggenrola? And now I've got a Kabuto encounter. That is absolutely terrible. Here you go, trainer. Here is a Pokemon which isn't even good against Dynamax Ho-Oh. You're welcome. I mean, what are we doing? You've just released the best Rock-type Dynamax so far in the game. Why not give us that an encounter? Why give us a rubbish Kabuto? Thanks. Thanks for that. Scopely. Much appreciated. You can tell how thrilled I am to get that Kabuto off that research. Absolutely chuffed to bits. Yeah, exactly, but they could have put that in the lead-up research, surely. They've just released it. Why not give us a counter with it? I mean, come on. It wasn't that difficult, would it be? I don't know. Feed our Pikachu instead. So it's coming up to 6 PM now. We won't be doing any until 6 PM. And that is when the refresh will happen. All the Dynamax power spots, even the ones that we've just done, will respawn fresh, new Roggenrolas with 1 hour timers on them. So we should be able to re-hit all the ones we've just done. And if we worked it out correctly, we've done 4 so far this evening. And with the particles that we are yet to claim, and of course the ones that we've currently got in our storage, we should be able to do, if we claim another 2, get us up to around about 1460, then claim a 300 from walking. That will get us to 1760, and in my estimations, that is around about 7 battles. So we should be able to do around about 11 today, which would be really, really cool if we can. But let's see if we can. We need to claim the walking ones at the right time to be able to do that. And of course, we need to find the power spots in order to be able to do that as well. Now that power spot there has now spawned one. It is quite a new thing, that is. The power spots which are labelled to become active the next day, it always shows you in advance where they are going to be becoming active. They have now started to spawn Dynamax max battles on during Max Monday, which is really good because it gives you more max battles near you. And in my scenario now, it is something we really, really need. So we need to do all these 3 down here and then head back the way we've done, the way we've come from, and do those 4 there to get the maximum amount done tonight. So this will be the 5th one of the evening, the first from the actual Max Monday event. So let's see if we can improve on that 680 CP. Jonathan stated that the hundo is 688. So if we get anywhere near that, that will be absolutely brilliant. I don't think we have to worry about the hundo CP like we did with Caterpie last week, because Caterpie hundo, it is the same CP for a hundo as it is for a 98. So a 14-15-15 and a 15-15-15 has the same number CP for Caterpie, which is a little bit annoying. It's also the same for the likes of Chansey. That can also be a 98 or a hundo depending on how the stats fall. It's really annoying that that can happen. So this one, 668, is a 3-star. Not a bad 3-star as well. 13, 12, 14 on that one. And let's pick up this one straight after. And we need to remember we need to collect the walking ones next. That is 2 power spots now that we have collected with the bonus each time, which means we collected 240 particles in the last 2 power spots when we did we did have 260 left to claim today. So we got around about 20 left to claim today. So hopefully we can claim 300 when the walking ones come in. And that will just allow us to do an additional Dynamax battle tonight, if we've planned it right. Six, 7, 1. So again, heading in that direction, but still not anywhere near the 680 we've had already, or anywhere near the 688 of the Hundo. So I'm now walking in a pitch black nature reserve. This is not the nicest time to be walking through a nature reserve, but we are wanting to get to that Roggenrola right at the top there. I wouldn't normally walk this way, but not this late at night, but we do need it to be able to do the most amount of battles today. But again, before we interact with it, we could really do with that 300 walking particles coming in at some point. So when are these particles going to come in? Anytime now, these walking ones. Anytime now would be a massive help. 1.9 out of 2. That is so annoying. Let's see if we start walking back the other way. They will come through or not. We could really do with them coming through now to get the most amount of max battles done today. There we go. 300 claimed. 5 more Dynamax battles to do. So that's this one and the 4 that we did previously. So again, going in with Zamazenta and 2 Zacians. Not that we'll need the other 2, but Zamazenta to start with. And normally with these level 1s, these level 1 Dynamaxes, if you do start off with Zamazenta, you don't normally have to Dynamax. You normally be able to wipe it out without having to Dynamax, just like we've done there, in fact. So it does tend to work with most level 1s using Zamazenta. So it just does help you complete the battles a little bit quicker. You haven't got to wait for Dynamax animation. And we have 652. Again, that reddish haze that the Dynamax gets really does make it look a bit like a shiny. Would be interesting to see what a shiny one looks like and compare it when we encounter it, because I don't think too much. I think you'll struggle to notice the difference. Should be able to turn our torch off in just a second when we get back to the road. So we'll turn our torch off now. And as we mentioned before, there may be a couple of level 1 raids that are Hone Edge. I would be very interested in doing Hone Edge. There's also Sinisty on raids as well, which of course has a possibility of being the antique form. I believe it's around 1 in 64 odds of getting the antique form, but I believe it's full odds for the shiny. I'm not too sure on that, but if it is, it's going to be very, very rare to find an antique form shiny Sinisty. So I'm not going to be using my raid battles on that. I'd rather do Hone Edge, partly because Hone Edge is one of my favourite Pokemon in its evolutionary form, Gleet. It is up there in my top 5 favourite Pokemon. But of course, it can't be shiny at the moment. It will get its shiny release in that Pokemon Go Tour Kalos this next month. And it is a very, very cool shiny. If you haven't yet seen a picture of it, make sure to go check it out. The shiny family of Hone Edge, Double Edge, and a Gleesh look absolutely amazing. We go to like a black and red colour. Looks so, so cool as a shiny family. So make sure to go check that out if you haven't already. But we will be doing some Hone Edge raids if there's any about. What is that level 1 there? It is a Sinisty, as we just mentioned. So 4 more max battles left of this Dynamax Max Monday. Tadbulb, of course, can be shiny now after its shiny release a couple of weeks ago of that high Zaptitude event. So there's 2 more across here. These are the ones that we did previously. And then we'll head to the 2 just a bit further up as well. And that should do us for Dynamax battles this evening. And there's a lot of level 1 raids popping off now. So let's see what these are. I think they're all Sinisty by all accounts. There is a Sinisty raid there. Another one has appeared there as well. What's the timer on that one all the way up there? I don't know if you'll be able to click on it just yet. Now, push come to shove, we will do one of these Sinisties because I think we still got our free raid pass in from yesterday, to be fair. So it would be beneficial to do a raid so we at least have a free shot at it. Well, definitely won't be spending any premiums on Sinisty. So, of course, if you haven't yet checked out my latest YouTube short video, please make sure to go do that. The YouTube short video about this week on Pokemon Go. It highlights all the events, what are happening this week in Pokemon Go. And of course, we do that as a weekly feature on a Sunday evening. I'll post that. So make sure to go check that out every Sunday or Monday on my channel. It gives you a rundown of all the events that are happening over the next 7 days on Pokemon Go. And this week, we of course have a brand new event starting tomorrow called the Into the Depths event. And we also have Spotlight Hour tomorrow. Then on Wednesday, we've got Raid Hour featuring Incarnate Tornadus. And then at a weekend, as we mentioned before, we have got the Dynamax Ho-Oh Max Battle Weekend. And then on Sunday, we have got Community Day, February Community Day. And that's going to feature Vulpix and a Alolan Vulpix. But for more information on all those events, make sure to go check that YouTube short video out on my channel. It's also on my TikTok as well. And you can follow me on TikTok. Danzo Biggins, the same as YouTube. Make sure to go check me out on TikTok as well. So we're nearly in reaching distance of this next Roggenrola now. So let's start that battle there. And again, going straight in with a Zone Resenter will hopefully just stop us from having to Dynamax. So shiny Zone Resenter this time. And again, it does just get to move that. Does just get to the charge attack move before we do have to start Dynamaxing. So it does save you a little bit of time not having to watch that animation. We'll skip through rewards. Another 5,000 XP. Another one that looks like a shiny but isn't. And 668 on the CP. So unfortunately not the 688 we were looking for. But 668 instead. So another 3-star, not a bad one, but 13, 12, 14 again on the stats. I'm sure we've had that same stat formation before this evening. As we always do, we will check out all the ones we've had this evening at the end of the stream. But 3 more left to go. Let's see if we can finish the stream on a high. Make sure to like the video as well. Subscribe to the channel, turn that notification bell on if you haven't already, so you don't miss when we go live. So 3 more to go. This is the first of those final 3. So what CP will we get this time? 654 CP. Not a very good one at all on this occasion. Maybe only a 2-star, in fact. Yeah, only a 2-star. 11, 13, 11 on the stats. Not good at all. Let's jump into the next one immediately afterwards. We'll start heading to the final one. This is the penultimate one. One more to do after this. Can we finish any better than the 680 CP that we've had so far this evening? Can we get a shiny one, in fact? Of course, 1 in 512 odds for the shiny this evening. But we may get lucky enough to get one. You never know. Let me know in the comments how many Roggenrolas you've done this Max Monday, if any. And as I mentioned before, it is the best counter for Dynamax Ho-Oh this weekend. So if you are doing any Dynamax Ho-Oh, if you're planning it, maybe a group of you and your friends are going to go out and do Dynamax Ho-Oh this weekend, maybe you're meeting up with your local community, then you may need a Roggenrola in its evolutionary form to be able to do that Dynamax Ho-Oh. It may be the difference between doing it and not. 672, heading in the right direction. So 672 CP. is a 13, 13, 15. So a very good one, really. A 91 on the IV there. And we have a Sinisty raid and a Hone Edge raid. We'll do a Hone Edge, I think. We may also do a Sinisty. Let's do a Sinisty first, and then we can jump into the Hone Edge afterwards. Well, we only got one free daily raid pass, unfortunately. Thought we had the one from yesterday still, but maybe we didn't even interact with a gym yesterday. So we'll head over to the Hone Edge raid, and then we'll go and do our final Dynamax Roggenrola of the evening. Having done 4 previously to the 6 PM Max Monday start time, we have since managed to do 6 afterwards and head into the final 7th one during the Max Monday, meaning 11 in total today, which is a decent amount. Bearing in mind it's all free particles. We have not purchased any particle packs to do these today. All free particles, all what I saved up from yesterday, and of course today's free particles. So Hone Edge incoming. I'm unsure if the comments are working or not. If you are commenting down below and it's not appearing and I'm not interacting or answering any of your questions, then apologies for that. Sometimes YouTube does mess up a little bit with the comments. But hopefully you've enjoyed the live stream tonight nonetheless. So Hone Edge, not too sure what the Hundo Hone Edge is, what we need to be keeping an eye out for. But using our free daily raid pass on Hone Edge, and we've ended up with a 770 CP Hone Edge. Of course, can't be shiny just yet. That's going to be released next month. But 770 Hone Edge. Trying to catch it using a pineapple just so we can get additional candies for it. And like I said before, this will be available shiny for the first time during the Pokemon Go Tour. It will be shiny available in 10 kilometer eggs during that Go Tour, as well as the shiny Hull Launcher and also the shiny Clef Key. So those two are of course regionals, and they'll be available for everybody during that 2-day global event. So it is the best chance to get those shiny. And then of course after the event they'll only be available to be found in their region again. Let's click on that. A Alolan Vulpix. It's 1 in 64 shiny odds for a Alolan Vulpix in the wild, whereas the normal Vulpix is 1 in 512. But of course they'll both be boosted this Sunday when we have the February Community Day on the 1st of February. And I can only assume we've done the February Community Day so early on in the month. because of all the Go Tour events, the in-person events every weekend during February, and then of course a global event happening the last weekend in February or first weekend in March. So for the final time, Dynamax Roggenrola. Again, I apologise if you have been commenting down below. I don't seem to be getting any comments, but I can't see any of the previous ones as well, which sort of indicates that there may be an issue with the comments. So apologies if I haven't responded to any comments, but please like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. We are doing amazing on the subscriber front. Well over 1,500 now, around about 1,524 I believe, which is just insane. I never thought I'd get that many subscribers when I set this YouTube channel up, so thanks to everybody who's hit that subscribe button. But when you do, make sure to click on that notification bell as well and change that to all notifications so that you get notified for everything, including when we go live, which we will be again tomorrow for Spotlight Hour. So for the final time, can we finish on a shiny Roggenrola? Unfortunately not. And it's a 668. So not the best CP of the evening and not a shiny one. Like I say, it'll be interesting to see what a shiny one looks like in comparison, because it does look shiny with that reddish Dynamax haze to it. So 668 is the final Dynamax Roggenrola of the evening. So let's have a quick look and see how many we've managed to do this evening and how good they are. So we've also managed to get that Kabuto encounter from the Dynamax Ho-Oh lead up research, so everybody will be able to get that. As long as you do one Dynamax battle this week, you'll be able to claim that research. But these are all the Dynamax Roggenrolas we got this evening, and if we put them in ascending order with a high CP at the top there, we've got 680 CP, and that is by far our best one of the evening. 15, 13, 14, and we're probably going to power this one up and evolve it into Gigalift. In fact, let's evolve it now into Gigalift. We'll evolve it all the way. Don't think we're going to get much better than this as the week goes on. A 93 Roggenrola. And with 15 attack, it's definitely worth adding to my squad that I'm building for the Dynamax Ho-Oh this weekend. And Ho-Oh is of course a flying and fire type, which is double weak to rock. And Gigalift is now the #1 rock Dynamax, so it is a perfect addition to any team ready for this Dynamax Ho-Oh event this weekend. So that is your Dynamax Gigalift there. It does look awesome in its Dynamax form, I must admit. But let me know what you think of Dynamax Roggenrola being added into Pokemon Go in the comments down below. It's a very, very cool addition just in time for Dynamax Ho-Oh. So thanks very much for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn that notification bell on, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.